Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious, and my name is Cassidy.
And my name is Amanda.
It's us.
It's us. I almost forgot my name for
Your
a second.
two favorite holiday elves.
That is right. I actually do have an elf ear.
Do you?
Yeah. You've never seen my elf ear?
Oh, I think yes. I think you've shown me that before.
It's just like the cartilage sticks up like an elf.
Oh, it's literally Christmas Day right now
Right now it's Christmas Day.
when this gets released.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And tomorrow, I think Hanukkah starts.
Ooh.
Either starts or ends. No, first day of Hanukkah is December 26th.
We're right here. We're in the holidays. It is here. If you're on YouTube, we are wearing the same outfits as last week, but don't fret. Don't even think about it, really. It's a different day.
It's none of your business what outfit I'm wearing.
Why are you yawning?
Because I'm tired.
No.
Sorry.
Do you want an espresso martini?
No. I will die.
Will you die or will you be alive?
I will not sleep for the whole night, and then on tomorrow I'll be sassy.
You don't sleep anyway. I don't know.
I don't sleep very well. I've been sleeping like crap this whole week. Like,
yeah.
Just waking up at like 3 a.m. Just so tired still, but can't go back to bed.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
It's not great.
Yeah. That's like, I just don't understand. Like, if I'm tired, why am I not falling asleep? I'm laying here with my eyes closed.
It's just Mercury retrograde.
Which is over now.
Starting.
Well, for this episode.
For this episode.
It's been done for like a week and a half.
While we're recording, we're still crazy.
We're still in it. It's supposed to end on Sunday. So by the time you listen to this, it should be over.
So fingers crossed we're normal.
Because everything in well, come on, be real.
Be so fucking for real.
Doesn't matter what planet is doing anything.
No.
But yeah, everything is like breaking in my building, my condo building. It's like the water keeps having to get shut off, or we don't have hot water or whatever. And my landlord texted me today and was like, well, Mercury retrograde is supposed to end on Sunday, so it should get better. I was like, you got it, girl.
Astrology queen.
Astrology queen. Thank you.
We love to see it.
Thank you for the input.
Did you see that picture of Kim Kardashian at her Skims premiere party?
No.
It's so funny. Okay.
Can I see it?
So she broke her foot.
Okay.
So she has a scooter.
Okay. How'd she break her foot?
I don't
have
know.
it. What?
I had it. I had the picture up because it just made me laugh so hard.
Oh my gosh. Bizarre.
Like, what, girl, what are you doing?
She's scooting and booting, man.
She's scooting and booting. She is in a, what would you call it? A tube top?
It's like a leather bustier.
Looks like her nipple might fall out. She might have a nip slip.
Yeah. Why
But
not?
she's scooting.
Wow.
I
What a
literally thought
scoot.
that was the funniest. And the account that posted it was like, last night at the Skims flagship opening, but like
They didn't acknowledge it.
didn't acknowledge the scooter.
That makes it even funnier.
Yeah, I know. That's what made me laugh so hard.
I'm surprised that hasn't become a meme yet, that people haven't edited that into things.
I hope it does.
Yeah, because it looks like she's flying.
She's defying gravity.
She is. She's really holding space.
She's holding space for that scooter.
Yeah, she is.
And like, is she wearing Uggs? Like, what's going on here? Did you see that?
Well, I mean, if she has like a boot on, she probably wanted to wear a shoe that correlated with the boot, I would
don't know
assume.
why.
Because you
Just,
can't wear
like,
one heel.
Kim Kardashian in a leather bodysuit on a scooter is just probably the funniest thing I've seen.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. Wow.
Just felt like you needed to see that.
Yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I can't. Once again, I'm surprised it hasn't been green screened onto like 20
I
different
think
things
it just
yet.
happened today. So
Oh, did it?
Or like
Okay.
those photos just came out today. So hopefully people take that and roll with it.
Let's roll with it, people.
With it.
Here you go.
She's on a
See?
scooter.
You're already starting
Wow.
it.
Do
She's
you see
already
me?
starting it.
Do you see me, guys? Here I am doing things.
She's starting memes, starting trends.
That's all I wanted to do.
That's all she knows how to do
in
really.
my life.
Trend setter.
I wish.
I know. I'm like, I feel like because we're recording this early, because the holiday, obviously, Amanda's going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town. I'm like, there's going to be so many relevant, funny things that we're not going to be able to talk about.
No.
Yeah.
We're going to have to actually write stuff in our notes
I know.
to discuss.
But then probably by the time we record, a lot of that time, it's like, oh, no, nobody cares about that.
well, I will care and I'll make people care.
Okay.
Unless it's not funny anymore, then I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also the problem. I guess that's good though, because sometimes we'll make jokes about things and then like things get really heavy and we're like, whoops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. But like, I didn't know.
We didn't know at the time.
We didn't know at the time.
If we're talking about something that just happened, how are we supposed to know that it might potentially be bad in a week?
We don't know.
We don't
the
know.
tides turn. I'm not kidding. Every single time I'm like, oh, I like this celebrity. The next week it's like canceled. They're actually a murderer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang it.
Like, we don't know, guys. So sorry, but that's not on us.
Well, speaking of bad celebrities,
Ooh.
more people came out against Jay-Z with allegations.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Jay-Z or P. Diddy?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
P. Diddy is in jail.
Yeah, he's done.
But no, Jay-Z.
I don't know. Something about Jay-Z and Beyonce, just like, I don't know. They're too powerful.
Well, apparently he has an illegitimate love child, and he impregnated that allegedly. This is what some people have said, including the love child, that he impregnated the said love child mom when she was like 15 or 16, and he was 24. So, like, if that DNA test comes back, that's about all the evidence you need.
I just took a DNA test. Turns out
I'm
you're a
100
pedophile.
Yeah, it turns out I'm 100% a piece of shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I'm glad anytime anybody gets caught doing anything. The crazy thing to me is, like, the people on the internet that are trying to be, like, make excuses or be like, well, but actually, I'm like, just shut up.
It's because, actually, someone just did this the other day when I was talking shit about, like, Kanye West or something.
Yeah.
Because they're fans of their music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care.
But also, like, that doesn't matter. Like, first of all, that celebrity does not care about you.
No.
They do not care that you're in their corner. They literally have never thought about you a day in their life other than maybe, thank God all these people give me so much money all the time.
Right.
Ha, 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 ha.
Especially people as big as, like, Jay-Z or P. Diddy or whoever. Like, those people who have been famous forever, too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't give a fuck.
I would hope if, like, assault allegations come out about someone, even if you are trying to be wary because you're, like, a big fan of someone, and it's, like, obviously it's hard sometimes to be, like, when something's a big part of your life, right?
Yeah.
But, like, your instinct shouldn't be to go on the internet and be, like, caping for this person.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Like, that is such a bad look. No matter what happens, you're gonna look like a dick.
DJ James Kennedy also just got arrested yesterday for
what?
Alleged domestic violence
with his new girlfriend.
We're not sure. Nobody knows.
That's crazy.
Because isn't
it crazy that we call it, like, domestic violence when it's, like, your girlfriend or whatever? But, like, if you just punched a random girl, it would just be assault.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was. It could very well be, like, Raquel, his ex, saying stuff. We don't know yet.
Okay.
But we just know that he got arrested yesterday.
Got arrested.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy.
So
yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, now, probably by the time this comes out, everyone's going to know everything. We don't know anything yet.
Oh, my God, guys. We're in the future.
You guys are in the future.
You're in the future, and we're in the past, and we don't know what's going to happen. We
don't even know.
Are knowing what is happening right now as we speak.
You guys are already going to know the results of the Raiders game that I'm going to be at.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Don't tell me. Don't spoil.
Don't spoil it. Don't let her know.
Don't you future people spoil it.
Wow. Yeah, that is weird that we are in the future. And it's Christmas.
It is.
Right now.
It is. I might be sat down watching Nosferatu right now.
You for sure will be. Probably.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I'm really hoping for it.
Hopefully I will be, what will I be doing? Probably just eating.
As you should.
With my family.
Yeah.
A bunch of food.
Should.
Yeah. Maybe drinking. Probably
sure,
drinking.
Yeah. Day drinking.
Day drinking.
That's what the holidays are for.
Yeah.
And you're going to be, like, in one solitary location, so you don't even have to worry about, like, driving or getting around places.
I will be golf carting.
Fun.
Because that's what I like to do.
Oh, yeah, in Florida.
In Florida. Everyone just has a golf cart, and it's really fun.
Genuinely, I think that's just how it should be.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be cars. Just golf carts.
I would love that. That would be really fun.
Like, I get that wouldn't work for places that have, like, real weather.
Yeah.
But like for us,
We could do that.
that would be ideal.
Golf cart city.
Yeah. Like Catalina.
Oh, let's move to golf cart city.
Catalina?
I love Catalina.
I love Catalina too.
Yeah, but the golf carts are what it's like $60 an hour, 2-hour limit or whatever.
Yeah, but if you lived there, you would just own a golf cart.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm
you can't
not
just
rich.
be renting a golf cart in Golf Cart City.
No. I think we should create golf cart city.
I think that's just every retirement home. I think your parents already live there.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
When you're right, you're right.
And I'm going to Golf Cart City for Christmas. So buckle up, baby.
Grandma got run over by a golf
reindeer.
cart.
Oh my gosh. I love that song.
I like that movie. It's actually a good movie.
That is one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. We had a mixtape growing up and it was like all like just the best Christmas songs. And that one was like my favorite. Dominic the Donkey. Obviously, you guys know that one.
You probably had the same one I had, which was, wow, that's what you call Christmas. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think it was.
I had the same one.
Actually, let me just pull up this website that I was reading earlier because I thought it was really funny.
Perfect.
It's this website it's like an article, and this person, Steven Sessamon, he goes into why Santa Claus is actually a criminal.
I mean, he is breaking into your home.
He commits so many crimes.
And he's wiretapping you illegally.
Yeah. So he trespasses.
Mm-hmm.
He literally enters your home without your permission. He goes down your chimney and just does whatever the fuck he wants. He speeds in his sleigh because he has to get all around the world.
All around the world.
Forever. Or really, really fast in one night. Child reckless endangerment and kidnapping, because sometimes if you see in like certain movies, the kids will end up on the sleigh.
That's true.
And then he's like, he doesn't stop and turn around. He takes them to the North Pole.
Well, because he's on a mission. He's got things to do.
So you're kidnapping people. Animal abuse, animal cruelty. He's forcing the reindeer.
But we don't know that.
This is alleged.
This is all alleged. In our opinion, Santa, don't sue us.
Santa, please don't sue me. I didn't write this article, for the record. Steven did. Steven Sessamon.
He's the one who should be on the naughty list, not Amanda. Amanda is just sharing what he said.
Exactly. Steven Sessamon also says that he enslaves elves to work at the workshop. And they don't get paid for their work.
Yeah, we don't know what their compensation package looks like.
But it sounds a little...
It's a little suspect.
It's a little suspect. What else does he do? He threatens minors. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
I was going to say that he sees you while you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
He knows if you've been bad or good.
Yeah,
so be good for goodness sake.
So what? You're a fucking creeper too? You're lurking on children, Santa?
Oh, he's lurking. He's lurking.
And then, of course, what you just said, he ran over a grandma.
He did.
So I'm just saying.
Did he even stop? That was a hit and run.
It was a hit and run. It literally, look, right here. The tragic, mournful tale so often is sung. The prime suspect is one of Santa's reindeer in the world's most famous case of hit and run.
Mm-hmm. He's harboring a criminal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. This article made a lot of sense to me, and I read it this morning.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah. So
just keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind, guys.
Well, you open your presents and you prepare for the new year. Oh, new year.
And you're putting out cookies and milk to a possible criminal.
To a criminal that you invited into your home.
You know who I would invite into my home?
Who?
The Grinch.
I love The Grinch.
We talked about it.
That's my favorite
episodes
movie.
ago, but I just love The Grinch so much. Did you see the video? I think I sent it to you this morning on TikTok. The one where the little girl, she's like scared of the Grinch. She like comes and to take a picture and she's crying, screaming, crying. And then all of a sudden she like puts her arms out to sit on his lap. And then she starts going, I love you. And then she looks at him again and then she screams and cries.
How Cindy Lou Who coded of her.
So funny.
No, I love The Grinch. I watch it a million times. I watch The Grinch not on Christmas.
Yeah, no.
Like I'll watch it any time of the year.
You don't need to.
If I'm having a bad day, throw The Grinch on. That'll fix it.
I want to watch it. I think I need to watch it like soon.
Yeah, you should watch it tonight.
I should watch it tonight if we have time. You know I go to bed early. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you do. It's very confusing.
I might fall asleep. I don't know. I can fall asleep watching The Grinch.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
I also really, really like the Santa Claus, like the first one.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's like one of my, it's such a feel-good movie to me. It puts me in just this space where I just feel like I'm getting hugged.
Good for you.
By a polar bear.
By a polar bear.
Yeah, like a nice polar bear.
Okay.
Like a fuzzy, cute, nice polar bear that's not going to rip me to shreds. You know
Apparently
what I mean?
their fur is like more like straw like texture, because it's hollow.
Oh, they're not even like fuzzy and soft?
No, they're not soft at all.
That's disappointing.
Mm-mm. I know.
Then never mind. I don't want to get hugged by one.
You don't want to meet one.
No, they will
You
kill
know
me.
the saying.
What?
If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night.
Oh.
For bears.
So the white bears will just immediately kill you.
They will kill you.
Good night. Goodbye.
They'll stalk you too. Like if they see you and they're like, I'm going to eat you, they'll like stalk you across the tundra
Ooh.
to kill you.
Scary.
Very scary.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Those dudes are scary.
Wow.
But yeah.
I think I would probably just get ripped to shreds by any of those colors.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I can't see you having a cool head in really any sort of animal-based situation.
Have you met me in any situation ever?
Yeah. The other day, she stopped her car in the middle of the street because she was trying to tell me a story and couldn't talk and drive at the same time.
Don't tell them that.
But I'm just saying, because I was like, why are you stopping? And she was like, because I'm trying to tell you a story. And I was like, okay, well, we're driving in the middle of the road. So probably keep going.
Okay, I slowed down. I didn't come to a stop.
No,
like a halting
you
stop.
got lucky that the light changed. So you got to just creep.
Sometimes thinking and driving is hard to do at the same time.
Are you not a real multitasker?
I don't know. I feel like I can multitask.
Because I'm a big multitasker.
It's really the thinking part.
Well,
That
don't you have
throws
to
me.
think to do a task?
Do you?
Yeah, typically. Like if you had to like cut something out, like a shape out of paper, could you like tell a story and cut out a shape in paper?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Or like chop things, like food.
Yeah, like talk like while you're cooking or whatever.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
I probably couldn't be like a
Celeb chef.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't be that for many reasons. I can't cook, but it's fine.
I concentrate and think better when I'm doing another task. Like that's why, I mean, you'll see even when we record the podcast, like when I'm trying to like actively listen to you, if I'm just like looking, I will immediately stop listening to you.
Yeah, you like to.
I have to like be fidgeting or
Yeah.
like touching something or whatever. Otherwise I can't, like I literally can't listen.
Yeah, you're always playing with the little blanket that you wear.
Yes, my emotional support blanket.
It's your thinking and listening blanket.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
But yeah, like I operate better when there's like multiple things happening.
I mean, you're a good thinker, you know?
I like to think.
Yeah.
I be thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I be thinking too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really the problem.
You do. You do.
Like, why am I awake at 4 a.m. just thinking about how one day inevitably I will die? Like, there's no question. Like, I'm going to die. Like, you can't not die. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you can.
That's great for you.
You never know. Think like there could be one of those magic pills that keep you alive for 100 years. Or you get bit by a vampire and then you're
That I would like.
You know?
But you better do it soon because I don't want to be an old lady vampire. I want to be like a medium lady vampire. Well, mostly I just don't want to have like hip issues.
That's fair.
Like, that
That's
doesn't
fair.
seem fun.
That's fair.
Actually, I just watched Limitless again for the first time in a while. I don't know why my boyfriend put it on the other day. And I was like, that movie is so long. And also it ends with the most like obvious thing, right? So like they get addicted to this pill, the Limitless pill.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like X3R
Is that
or whatever.
the one with
Bradley Cooper.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
And he like takes a pill and it makes you like really smart. Like
Ooh.
you're limitless, right? Can't cut that. And
unlimited.
and so he can like do anything. He like knows how to do math. He can like just listen to a language, and then now he can speak that language, like stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Just like unlocks your entire access to your brain. But then they like don't have access to the pills anymore. And like none of you thought to use your unlimited knowledge to learn how to make the pill.
Oh, that's stupid.
And then that's how the movie ends, is he like figured out how to make it. And I'm like, why would that not be your first move? If you're like, wow, this pill makes me the smartest person in the world, and also if I'd stop taking it, I get sick, like crazy withdrawals, and people die, why would that not be your first thought? Because clearly people not on the pill invented the pill, so it can't be that hard.
You're so right.
Yeah.
And where were the people that invented the pill in the first place?
It's like mystery, like, and then people are getting killed and stuff, so it's because people want it, right?
Is it a good movie?
Not really.
Okay.
But I don't know, because I don't like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I find him smarmy, and he's especially smarmy in that movie. And like it's all about like him being the smartest person in the room, and then he gets laid a lot because he's so smart.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, we get it. Shut up.
I mean, listen, you don't have to be smart to get laid a lot.
No, usually the less smart you are, the better it works. Like he's like at a party, and he's like saying some like smart financial shit or whatever, and then it like shows him boning someone in the bathroom, and I'm like, that has never worked on a girl, but you want to know what has? Being like disgusting and being like, I shower twice a week and I have dirt under my fingernails. You absolutely will have a UTI after this. That's the type of people that girls bang in bathrooms.
That's so real.
The financial guy, she might be like, I should try and marry him.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna like lean in.
I mean, I just feel like from personal experience, if a guy was too smart, I was like, oh, nope. On to the next. Gotta go. On to the stupid one. Where's the stupid one? Where's the dumb hot guy? That's what I want.
Point me in the stupidest direction you have, mister.
Where's the dumbest and hottest guy in the room? That's who I want to be with. And I have been with that person before. But the smartest? Actually, I did force this guy who tutored me in math to date me. And then I stopped dating him because he was too smart.
Because he's too smart. Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
He was cute.
I mean,
too smart.
I don't have any issues with people who are smart, but if you did talk about finance at me, no, we're not doing that.
No. We can't talk about things that I don't understand.
Oh, that I just don't care about.
Or care about. Yeah. I mean, being smart is cool.
If you knew everything about Lord of the Rings, hell yeah.
That's for you.
Or
that
like
is
physics. I can get down with that. You want to talk about theoretical physics? Let's go. But like, I don't want to hear about the markets.
Theoretical physics. What?
You know, I love my man, what's his name? Tom Campbell.
Oh, yeah, Tom Campbell, the physicist.
The theoretical physicist.
Duh. Everyone knows him.
That's who I named my cat after.
I know. That's the only reason why I know him. But I don't know anything else about him. I just know he's a cat.
I just know he's a cat.
That would be so sick if your cat was a theoretical physicist.
Now that sounds annoying.
He's way too mean for that, though.
He's so mean.
Yeah. He's not figuring out physics.
It's actually so funny because I know that he's mean to other people, but it's so funny to be like, Tom's so mean because he's just the nicest cat in the world to me. Like, he's so sweet and so cuddly and so like just lovey-dovey.
I think he's just territorial. Like, he's like, where's my mom?
Yeah, he does not like when people are in my house that aren't me.
Right.
He can't get down with that at all.
No.
Yeah. But he loves me, so.
He does. That's really all that matters in the long run.
It's going to be a rough couple days for him when I'm in Vegas.
It is.
But you know what? That's a him problem.
Listen, I'm not the one that has to go feed him and put a box between me and him so he doesn't hit me.
I know. Lucky you.
Well, thank God.
Thank God.
He has whacked me way too many times.
And he used to live with you.
Well, when we lived together, he cuddled with me.
Yeah.
Maybe I think he's mad at me. I don't know.
No, because he doesn't like anybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
He tolerates Andrew.
Maybe you like whispered in his ear like, I'm your mother. I am your mother.
Greatest scene of all time. Oh,
And then he was like, that's right. You're my mother and I fucking hate everybody else.
hate
I'm gonna
everybody else.
beat them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. As he should.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. He is your son.
He is my son. Yeah, the apple did not fall far from the mean, mean, mean tree.
Exactly.
Ooh, I was discussing this. I went out to the bar the other night and we were discussing what's the meanest thing that someone could say to you.
The meanest thing.
Yeah. Because I was talking about how men are funny to me because they always think the meanest thing they can say is to call you fat. But
That's
it's
not
like
the meanest.
no. And then all the men, when I said that, all the men at the bar were like, really? That feels like the meanest thing you can say to a woman.
No.
And I was like, no, I think probably the meanest thing somebody could say to me, and like when I really want to cut deep on someone, the meanest thing is like, you are so uninteresting.
That's pretty mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feels like it encapsulates like you're not funny.
Yeah.
You're not smart. You're not interesting. You're not someone I think about often. When you're not around, people don't think about you. You're very uninteresting.
I would say like definitely hitting your like who you are as a human would hurt more than physical stuff. However, that being said, hitting your biggest insecurities physically also, like if people say stuff about like my eyebrows, or you know, like right now my hair situation is not at its best right now, so if someone were to make a comment about that, like that would probably hurt me. But the meanest thing, probably just because I'm delusional and I think I'm like a really good person. If people were like, you're not a good person, or like you're really fake and I think you're like not genuine.
Oh, like you seem fake?
Yeah, like then I think that would really hurt me.
Or like people think you're fake. Just so you know, people think you're fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like everything you say, like like you're not genuine. Like we can tell. And I'd be like, no, but I'm being serious.
That's so interesting because you always talk about how much of a fake bitch you are.
No, I am a fake bitch. I am, but I'm saying when it really matters. Like, or I guess it depends who would say that to me.
Yeah. A couple other runner-ups or things that people said, like, oh, this is the thing. When somebody like is really like, God, you are such a loser.
The loser thing is probably one of my favorite insults that I've been doing lately.
Yeah, like you are a loser, or like you are such a dork. Like, oh my God, you're so boring.
Yeah,
like or something that a couple of the men said is like probably the meanest thing someone could say to them, because you know dudes who think they're funny, being like, you know, you're not as funny as you think you are.
Yeah,
because that's worse than even just you're not funny. Just you're not as funny as you think you are. Because that I feel like will get in your brain and that'll be wriggling around in there for a while.
Yeah, I do think the loser thing, like saying like you are literally such a fucking loser.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Like, oh my God, you are a loser.
Yeah, and like laughing about it, like you're a fucking loser.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was telling them, because I was like, it's all about delivery too.
Yeah.
Like if how somebody says something to you can be so much worse than the words they actually say. Like if somebody is like laughing in your face, like, and it's like, oh my God, you are so fucking lame.
Yeah.
Like that would hurt, because you'd be like, oh my God, I'm such a joke to them that they're literally laughing as they tell me like, oh my God, you're literally so embarrassing.
Oh, sometimes I gotta be honest. It's kind of like my thing that I have where I really want to get punched in the face just to know what it feels like. Sometimes I just like, when I really don't like a person and I have all these thoughts swirling in my brain of the things that I want to say to them, I'm like, just give it, like, come at me. Let me do it.
Yeah, give me the reason to say all this mean stuff.
Give me the green light. Because I can't just do it, right? I can't, like, I look like an asshole if I just go up and say the thing.
You don't want to throw the first punch.
But give me just a little thing just so I can do it.
Well, I was going
to
say, to me, it sounds like if you hate them this much, they already gave you enough that they deserve it.
No, I agree, but I think I just need that. I need them to just do one little thing.
Yeah.
Or like say something so I can
yeah,
give
so that way
them.
you're not the one who started it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like foaming at the mouth for it.
I'm like, we've talked about this before. I'm very good with my words.
You are.
So like I'm a scary person to push over the edge, but I know that a lot better now. So I'm much more
well, see, that's the thing.
selective with my times that I say mean things.
But that's what I'm honestly jealous though, because you would be able to come up with something really fast. I can't. So I think about things like all the time, like, ooh, I would say this to this person. I like come up with like a script kind of in my head. So that's why I'm like, give me the chance.
That's a dangerous game though, because then when the script doesn't go exactly the way you thought, it's gonna make you go off. You got to be loose.
And I'm not good at improv.
You're not.
So I would probably just be like, and
then they'd be like, oh, you can't fucking talk, stupid idiot.
You're right. And then I would lose.
Then in the shower, like 3 hours later, you'd be like, and then this, and then this.
No, absolutely. You're giving me a lot to think about right now.
You know what? Because you can't have too strict of a plan.
I know.
That's how you end up falling all over your words because it doesn't come out right.
But you know that I need to like have a script. I can't just say things off the cuff.
I used to be a big like fake conversation in my head person. Like I used to do that all the time.
I do that shit all the
and then I was like, oh, that is like super unhealthy. I gotta stop doing that. To the point where I would have these fake conversations with myself or with somebody else, right, in my head though, and then I like wouldn't remember if I had that conversation with them or not, and then I'd be like, oh shit, like that probably isn't normal or good.
I can relate to that a lot. I do that all the time, and I used to do it so bad that when me and my husband would like get into fights, he would call me out and be like, you came up with a scenario of how you thought this was going to play out.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you're right. I did. And when it didn't happen, I got mad.
Yeah, you'll rile yourself up. I mean, this is why I always say like I give Amanda, like if she gets mad at me or whatever about something and I don't give a fuck, because it's usually like some sort of misunderstanding or like, why are you mad about this?
I am always mad about things that don't matter too. Yeah. Like that's the annoying part
I give her like 45 minutes and then I'll be like, okay, you either have to get over this or like yell at me already so we can talk, because like this, you're just going to make it this big deal in your head if we don't talk for a day.
Yeah.
And then
I stew and then I come up with more things.
And then you were like, well, when she said this, I bet what she really meant was this, this, and this. And it's like, that's not how that works.
You're not wrong. This is me.
One of the best pieces of advice that anybody ever gave me, and I wish I could even remember who it was, but they said, when somebody says something to you, you have to believe them. So like if somebody says to you, like, this is how I'm feeling, or no, I'm not mad, you have to say, okay, you just told me that you're not mad or that you believe me or whatever. I have to just take that, because you'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
If you are being like, I don't think they actually did. But here's the thing. If they lied, then that's on them if their feelings are hurt or they're wrong or whatever. True. They had the opportunity to be honest. So you have to just take people at their word when it comes to, like, not like everybody, obviously, but like your friends or family or people who you love. You can't just be constantly second guessing whether or not they're lying to you. And then if they are, that's on them. That's not on you.
That's true.
Like if they lie, if you said, hey, are you okay? And they say, yeah, I'm fine. Of course. Like, why wouldn't I be okay? You can't be like, I know that, whatever. Like, you have to be like, okay, I have to just take that.
Like, I trust you. I'll take what
And that's
you
a
say.
hard one for me, because I always assume that someone's secretly mad at me.
Yeah. You do.
I always am like, okay, who's mad? And everyone's like, nobody. And I'm like, oh, that sounds true. You know what I mean?
You're like,
So I'm still learning that one.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good advice. And sometimes it'll pop into my head when I can feel myself about to like push a situation that I'm like, okay, wait, no. Because it's not my business. If they want to lie to me about how they feel, that's on them.
That's true.
They can't be mad at me for not reading their mind.
Wow.
Yeah. Good advice, huh?
Good advice.
On this chilled out Christmas day.
Yeah. We're so chill.
We're so chill.
Christmassy.
We're so chill. It's like crazy how chill I am right now.
Chilly.
Is it already 35 minutes in?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. We talked more than we did in the last one.
I literally was sitting here like, oh, we got to fill more time. Well, before we get started, I would like to shout out Rose, who bought us a beer. And Rose said, I had a terrible fucking week at work. My pet jumping spider died, and my best friend of over 9 years broke up with me via text message without any explanation besides saying that she needs distance. Even when I'm down bad as I am right now, you two always make me laugh. And if nobody got me, DTK Pod got me for real. That is right, Rose. We got you for real.
We absolutely do got you for real.
We really do.
Fucking hate that shit. I hate when friends do that and they don't give you an explanation. That's happened to me many times.
I just don't. It's one thing if like a relationship fizzles, right? Like just naturally you guys are texting each other less and less, and then finally you send one last text and they don't answer, and it's like, okay, but you kind of see it coming. Like that's happened for sure for me in friendships. But like the ghosting out of nowhere and like there was no confrontation
Yeah.
is so weird and scary to me. But that's one of those things. That's why you can't fucking stew. Because I guarantee you, this person would have just talked to their friend about whatever was bothering them. They could have worked it out. But instead, they made it a way bigger thing in their head. And like, who knows? Sometimes you do hurt someone's feelings so irreparably. What? Oh my God, I can't. Sometimes you hurt someone's feelings in a way that you cannot take back and you cannot fix it and you don't even realize that you did it, right? Sometimes that does happen. But I do like, and people don't owe you anything is the unfortunate thing. They get to be like,
yeah, but I feel like
then
you would kind of be at least a little aware of that you did something.
I don't know, man. There's been times where people have been upset with me about something and like, I'm like, I don't even remember that interaction because it was so meaningless to me.
Yeah.
And they were like really upset about it.
That's true.
People are weird. They're complicated and messy. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't suck and hurt for you. And so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about your jumping spider. Those guys are cute. They're fuzzy. They are little fuzzy guys.
Yeah.
But if you get a new one, you can just name it Cassidy. So that's fine.
You should definitely name your spider Cassidy. Absolutely.
But yes, thank you. And we hope that your week gets better. And we're heading into a new year, which means fresh slate.
Fresh slate.
Yes.
Wipe it clean.
Wipe it clean.
Yes. I cannot fucking believe that. It's a new year.
I know. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Oh, I can't even think about it. I'm going to have a fucking panic attack.
I know. Same. Well, on that note, let's get started.
Let's get started.
Yeah.
With the holiday season being here, there's a lot of stress involved in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Going to the grocery store is already a task. And then with the holidays and buying gifts for people, it's like, I just don't really want to do that.
Absolutely. And luckily, HelloFresh is making that so much easier for us.
As someone who's also just really indecisive about what I want to eat pretty much every single night, but this cuts all that work down for me, and I get ingredients, I get a recipe that I would probably never make on my own, and they're delicious.
Yeah, you don't even have to think about it, and you have these high quality, sustainably sourced ingredients, produce that came from a real farm, and you get to enjoy it without ever having to really think.
I love to not think.
And HelloFresh does it deliciously.
It does. The other night, I actually made myself the lemon butter chicken.
Oh,
it was so good. I was up in the kitchen. I was making sauces. I don't cook like that.
One of the most fun parts about using a HelloFresh box is it makes you feel like you are much better at cooking than you are.
It does. It really tricks you.
Ain't that a good feeling?
It really is.
Well, thankfully, you can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free Kool-Aid. You can apply it across 7 boxes. This is for new subscribers only and varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/free Kool-Aid. And this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
All right, so today I'm going to be talking about Russia's M triangle, or its anomalous zone.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
I was actually shocked that we had never covered this before, but here we are. You love a triangle.
I love a triangle.
You love a zone.
Yeah, and I just like a weird thing.
Yeah, just a weird place.
Yeah.
Strange vibes.
That's right.
So my sources today were a website called Noble Sapiens, an article by Daniel Brett, UralTourism.com, Sightings, which is a TV show from the 90s,
Ooh.
Russia Beyond by Daria Kazina, and Ranker.com.
Okay.
All right, so apparently, and I did not know this, when the USSR was still a thing, they did not let journalists talk about like paranormal shit or UFOs like at all.
Oh, really?
Yes, allegedly. This is what the internet told me. And so when things were like not going so great in the 80s and then obviously was dissolved in the early 90s, suddenly journalists could talk about it because like they had bigger fish to fry. And boom, UFO reporting, which was an unintentional result of this huge geopolitical moment. UFO sightings were not allowed to be covered by the Soviet Union's state-run media, but once it was dissolved, the ban obviously was lifted and people were super interested because there's a ton of sightings in Russia, apparently.
You know I love a UFO sighting.
This also led to the declassification of a mysterious place dubbed the M Triangle. The M Triangle is a 44 square mile area outside of the village of Malyubka in the Ural Mountains. And this is about 600 miles outside of Moscow, so it's in a pretty remote area.
Okay.
It's very remote, very densely wooded. The Ural Mountains are actually some of the oldest mountains in the world and are very well known for having like mystical vibes happening and also just being gorgeous. But lots of UFO sightings and even crashes have taken place in the Ural Mountains.
Okay.
But the M Triangle takes it even further. So locals, like I said, there is a village that's like right outside of the area. They report very often seeing bizarre things in the sky, lights they can't explain, crafts moving about. People have observed these crafts like zooming around, like sporadic.
Zip, zap, zopping.
But then also just having them like linger in the sky for sometimes up to hours. So like people are witnessing this with their eyes. And when you arrive at the triangle, there is a 10-foot tall statue of a gray alien kneeling to welcome you.
Is there a photo of this alien?
Yes. If you look up M Triangle alien photo or alien statue, it should come up.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, he's big and scary.
Yeah, he's big. It's 10 feet tall and it's kneeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of people have claimed to not only encounter like UFOs and stuff like that, but actually having like full on conversation with aliens in this area.
Uh-huh.
And there's also some other like humanoid creatures that are known to be in the area. And a lot of that resembles like well-known local and indigenous legends.
Okay.
Yeah. There are also more active spots that are within the zone itself. Like my personal favorite, which is an area called the Call Box, which is like a 5x5 box area where phones work. So inside the triangle, basically all technology doesn't really work. And that includes, of course, your cell phone. People report their full batteries just dying, their screen's not turning on for some reason, just technological mishaps. But in this 5x5 area, phones work perfectly. And there's even a strong signal, strong enough to make phone calls, which that's even strange just for this part of the country.
Yeah, and it's in like a wooded
area. Because it's really remote. So even when you're outside of the triangle, cell reception is very shitty and spotty, like at best. So it's weird that you can, if you're standing in just this one section, you can have like full bars and make a phone call. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. I like that they call it the call box too.
The call box. It's so cute.
Yeah, that is cute.
So phones aren't the only things that act strangely inside of the triangle. Watches also seem to be unable to keep track of time. So one research group recounted how they all went in there together and they had like set their digital watches to make sure everyone had the same time when they went in. And then after they'd been in there for a few minutes, all of their watches glitched out and just began reading 00000000.
I'm sorry, but the technology failing thing when it comes to UFOs and aliens, there's got to be something.
It's like clockwork.
Like it happens every time. Like
yeah.
There's got to be something to that. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how people could not think that that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And other watches, like just classic analog watches, people have reported seeing their watch hands move backwards.
That would be so scary.
Slow down significantly or speed up significantly. And people in the area tend to lose track of time or experience what feels like time slips, where either like they thought they were somewhere for 15 minutes and they were gone for 3 hours, or the reverse. They felt like they were gone for 3 hours and everyone's like, no, you left like 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Another common occurrence is hearing strange noises, obviously. So just being in the middle of nowhere, you hear weird noises and stuff like that, obviously. But this is maybe one of the only places where once the sun goes down, you might hear the disembodied voice of a loved one who couldn't possibly be speaking to you from the dark. So whether it's somebody who has already passed or is hundreds of miles away or is sitting right next to you, but their voice is coming from the forest to speak to you.
It's giving Hunger Games
a little bit, yeah.
When they have
the
that
Mockingjay.
Mockingjay. Oh, that's creepy. Or what's that other what's the creature in the like the mimics in the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, Appalachian Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, are you trying to lure me away? Like, what are you trying to do right now?
So creepy.
Now, remember, this is the middle of nowhere, but somehow a very common thing that's like recorded or reported by people is that there's the like electricity hum, which is something you usually don't hear when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, when you're like by like a power plant or like a really big generator or whatever, and you just kind of have like that like noise, like people will hear that, but like coming from the woods.
Okay. It's like what was that story you covered a long time ago? The Taos
hum. People have also reported the unmistakable sound of a car approaching, despite the nearest road being dozens of miles away. But like that like crunching noise of like a car coming up and like, yeah. But then they like turn to look and there's nothing there.
Ugh. Or like even just somebody, like a person stepping on like a branch.
Yeah.
Even.
But like, you know that noise, like when a car is like pulling up behind, like, you know, you're walking on the sidewalk or whatever and you can hear the car pull up next to you. You don't even have to see the car. You can hear it.
I can literally hear that sound right now.
Yeah. And so people will report hearing that like a car is approaching them and then they turn to look and there's obviously nothing there. And there's no roads nearby even for it to be like ambient noise or something like that.
Gross.
Yeah. Chanting has also been reported to be heard along with whistles, like someone is trying to lure you into the trees.
Okay. So jot this down. If you go to the M Triangle, don't get lured by anything.
Do not let yourself get lured.
Just don't get lured.
Don't do it.
By any sounds, any voices.
If you heard something, no, you didn't.
You didn't. Don't go.
So people, despite warnings not to, actually, when the camera crew for the television show I was talking to went to go record there, the Russian government told them that they shouldn't spend more than 24 hours. Like they shouldn't spend the night and they shouldn't spend more than 24 hours in the zone because like bad things happen.
When the government starts to say that, then I would not
probably not do it. Yeah. But there are people who have camped out and do camp out overnight in the Triangle.
Oh.
One of the more common reports from people who stay overnight are that there are strange anomalies with their campfires. Things like exploding flames and colorful lights, like somebody had added some sort of chemical into the fire. And like, you know how like when you spray like kerosene or whatever and it like like that big like explosion, like that will just happen when they're just like sitting there. And smoke and flames have also formed into strange shapes despite it being like a mild windless night. It will start like dancing around and doing weird stuff. Other overnighters have also reported that around midnight especially, it's extremely active with loud noises and figures moving around, like silhouetted figures moving around in the moonlight, like right around midnight. Like they're resetting, kind of.
Ew.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, the way you described that.
That's just like where my brain first went. Like when I was reading that, I was like, oh, it's like midnight. It's like, okay, time to reset to meet for our spooky stuff tomorrow.
Gross.
Obviously, people who have visited the area have reported feeling sick, getting nosebleeds, dizziness, lethargy, having burns or bruises on their skin that they can't explain. But some people have left with a different sort of story.
Ooh, tell me.
Okay, so this brings up the story of Pavel Makhortov. And in the 1980s, in 1980, he was discharged from the military because he had a recurring health issue. So he was an army man or whatever, and they were like, hey, you just like have this health issue. It like makes you really like weak and tired and whatever. Like you just can't be in the military. So they discharged him. They gave him like this paperwork of like it's a medical discharge. And he ends up returning home and gets a job working for a local newspaper. So at the newspaper, they are getting letters like all of the time about this strange area out in the Ural Mountains. So eventually he gets one last letter about a strange experience that this person has. So he brings it to his editor, and his editor finally sends him to the area to investigate. So it was Pavel and a small team of like probably like a photographer and whatever. They show up, they're going to spend the night in the Triangle and just see what they can get, because everyone's saying like if you go, you will experience something. Like it is nightly. Like it's like a guarantee. And so not only do they get a bunch of UFO photos, but they also have strange encounters with like lights and stuff in the sky. And Pavel said just the whole time he was there, he had this really strange feeling. He felt like kind of sick and like dizzy and disoriented. And then after they left, he felt really weird. And like the second that they walked out, he like didn't feel sick anymore, but he did feel really, really weird. Like he couldn't believe the things that he saw with his own eyes. He felt like he was being like tricked, or like, you know, that kind of like feeling where you're like, something's just not right. Like something's off.
Did he remember everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
But even stranger, when they left, he started having strange thoughts that he'd never had before. And when he returned home, he realized he had a brand new understanding of extremely complex physics.
What?
Yeah.
So he became a physicist.
Yes.
He could talk to you about it.
And yeah, I know. And that's why it was in my head earlier. And this was a topic he had, first of all, never had any interest in. So he'd never studied it. He'd never gone to school for it. He had literally no interest in physics. Like not even, you know, like obviously I never went to school for it. I just kind of like it. So like I'll read books about it sometimes and stuff. Not even that. Not even like a passing fancy. Like never cared. Didn't know a single thing about it. Did not give a fuck. And now he suddenly has this like PhD level understanding of astrophysics. He also felt better physically and never had another flare-up of his long-term health issue.
Oh, yeah, he had a health issue.
Yeah. So they actually interviewed him in this show, Sightings, and they show all of the evidence of like him getting discharged from the army because he's sick, and then like some of the photos and stuff that they saw when they were in the triangle. But after he realizes that he's like a genius now about this, he ends up applying and getting a job for the Russian Space Agency, and he becomes a cosmonaut. He's literally an astronaut.
What?
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is the aliens implanted something into his brain.
Yeah, something happened.
And they were like, we choose you, buddy, and
Yeah.
you're going to come and you're going to be in space.
You're going to come visit us.
Yeah, you're going to come
up
see
there.
our home.
Yeah.
We're going to make you tea. It'll be cute.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really crazy.
And he's actually not the only person to report an increase in cognitive ability after spending some time in the triangle. So while it's not like the most common occurrence, he's also not the only person it's ever happened to. But he literally went from being in the army, gets kicked out because he's too sick,
Yeah.
becomes a journalist, then goes to this place, has this weird experience, and then becomes a literal astronaut, a cosmonaut.
A literal astronaut with no health issues.
No health
anymore.
issues. Yeah. He was like sitting there, like just smoking a cigarette and like talking. And then he had like his translator who was like translating for him. It was really bizarre. I was like, this is kind of crazy.
No, that's extremely crazy.
Yeah. So obviously this show, Sightings, that was interviewing Pavel, they were like, okay, well, we obviously have to go too and stay the night there and see what happens. And they also had crazy experiences. They got so many videos and pictures of all of these lights all over the place. And like, they were like the whole time in the show, you can tell they're like, I can't believe this is happening. Like when they're like, do you see these lights? Like all this stuff that's going on. They're like,
And there's the video of it?
yes. And they're like, I literally cannot believe that this is happening. You can watch the episode. It's on like the Internet Archive, that website, like archives old stuff that's not on the internet anymore. You can watch most of the episode on there. It's actually really interesting. And they're the ones that the government was like, don't spend too much time there because
That to me also is like
anything could happen.
the government coming out and saying that is one of the biggest like things to me where it's like, they know something.
Mm-hmm. And to this day, the area is still a magnet for especially ufologists and paranormal researchers love to go there. It's like become like I wouldn't say popular because it's really hard to get there. So you have to like travel you have to fly and then drive. And like, it's like, even from where you can fly into, it's still another like 2-hour drive.
Yeah, you have to
the place.
You have to really earn it.
Yes,
you have
you
to
do.
earn your haunting and your UFO sightings.
Exactly. But not everybody who goes there has a positive experience like Pavel did. Sometimes people leave, like I said, with burns on their skin, with like they're very confused, like it's very jarring to them. They think it's going to be like a funny thing to go. And then there have been multiple experiences of people who had experiences that really affected them and they ended up completing suicide not long after leaving.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's just because your worldview gets shooken up or if something happens to you there or what, but that is just something
or you
that
got
people have reported.
abducted and you know, and you couldn't take it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if I don't know if it's that like something happens to you, then now you have to be like, oh my God. Like, because here's the thing, like, right, we talk about like aliens and stuff. We're like, yeah, of course we believe in aliens or whatever. But like, if an alien fucking walked through that door right now and came up and fucking bitch slapped you and then walked out, and then you try to tell people like, no, I saw this alien. It walked in, it fucking bitch slapped me, and then it walked out, and everyone's like, yeah, sure, Amanda. Wouldn't that just make you feel like insane?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if that's part of it or what. Like you experience something and like it challenges your worldview or whatever. But that is something that people also reported happening. But
oh my God, if an alien bitch slapped me, that'd be
right. Imagine it just walks in, it looks at you, and it's like,
crazy.
I've been listening to what you've said. Just
Here's
slaps
the thing.
you.
Here's the thing, though. I would either, you know, be really upset that nobody believed me, or you could either go the other way around where you're like, I know this happened and that was crazy, and I have like this insane experience of an alien bitch slapping me. And I don't care.
I don't. You would not feel.
No,
like that.
I would not.
Yeah.
I'm saying you, as in like other people. Could.
You would either convince yourself it never happened, and that you were making it up, or you would go insane trying to convince people that you're not lying.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah. That's true.
Because that's what I would do probably.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I'm a pretty confident person, and I still feel like it would be really that would be really hard if you had like concrete evidence but you just saw it yourself. Like, that would be so hard.
It would be.
Because even, like, ghosts and whatever, you can always kind of, like, gaslight yourself to be like, but it could have been this, or could have been that, or maybe I was just really tired, or maybe I was, like, still half asleep, or maybe it was just a shadow out of the corner of my eye, or whatever, like, whatever. But, like, if you saw a fucking ghost rise out of the middle of this table and, like, vomit all over this room or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that is
You're really coming up with some really...
Like, I'm just saying, like, something that's not just, like, oh, you saw it in passing, or whatever.
Well, this morning, actually, it was, like... Or was it? I think it was yesterday morning, but it was like 3:30 in the morning at one point.
Yeah,
either yesterday or today, and I'm alone, and I look over because I see a light, and I look in my bathroom. Everything's dark, and my scale was lighting up.
Oh, like somebody stood on it?
Yeah,
that's scary.
And then I like turn over, and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then like maybe
you turned your back to it.
I turned my back to it.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy work.
And then 20 minutes later, I turn around and it happens again, like almost exactly when I looked, and then it didn't happen again.
Yeah.
And I told my husband, he's like, "Oh, it's because the thing was wonky," and I'm like, "But it's not doing it now, and it hasn't done it since.
I haven't done
Why
anything
did it only
to fix
do it
it
twice at 3:30 in the morning?
Right when I looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like that's the type of thing, right, where you're like, something was going on there, but it's easy for someone to be like, yeah, but maybe it just needed new batteries, or maybe there was something weird, or maybe your cat messed something up, or whatever.
My cats were not in the room.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's one of those things that's easy to convince yourself, like, it was probably actually nothing, like, whatever. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But, like, that's why I'm, like, using these very specific examples of, like, this happened, you literally witnessed it for a minute long, you know, like, experience. Like, that would change the way you'd, like, be in the world.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
You would never look at anything the same.
No, yeah. So the people who live in the village nearby, they were also interviewed for this sightings episode, and most found it quite mundane because they're just so used to it. So
they're like, yeah, that happens.
Literally, like they would tell every single person they interviewed had experience, had seen stuff. They see stuff super regularly. And like they interviewed a group of little kids that were like kind of like bopping around the village. And the guy was interviewing them, and one of the kids literally said, "I don't really care. We've all seen it. Why talk about things that are old news?"
I mean, they're like, "You've never been bitch slapped by an alien?"
Yeah, basically.
Are
he's
you
like,
stupid?
He's like, "There's really no point in talking about it because everybody here already believes it. We don't need to explain it to our friends or convince my mom. Like, if I go and say, 'Oh, Mom, I saw this UFO in the sky,' she'll be like, 'Oh, cool. Like, which direction was it headed?' Like, there's no question there.
Yeah,
with them of like." That if you see something, and like another thing that the villagers would report is that sometimes there will just be randomly like a burst of red light that comes off of the area, like almost like a silent explosion.
Oh,
like just like a burst of like red light, like vroom.
Yeah, and
then it'll just go away, and like everyone's seen it at some point or another because it'll just randomly happen like at night.
Great,
yeah,
love that.
Isn't that so weird?
Yeah,
yeah. So you could still go and visit the M Triangle.
It's a trek, though. It's a journey.
It's a journey, and you would need either a guide or just a very helpful, somebody willing to like show you around so that you could find places like the call box, right? Because how are you going to find this little 5 foot by 5 foot? Nothing's marked. Like,
yeah,
in
and
there.
this is like woods.
Yeah.
Because at first, like when you're thinking about it, when you're talking about it, you're thinking this is just a big open
like field
space,
or
but
something.
it's not. Yeah.
No. It's like woods and like terrain.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can go visit. Just make sure you keep your wits about you. And I would listen to the government and maybe not stay there for too long.
And once again, do not get lured out.
No luring allowed.
No luring. Don't answer any calls into the void.
Yeah, do not listen to the void.
Yeah, please.
You put that void down, young man.
Don't listen to it, even if it calls you on your cell phone when you're in the call box.
Exactly. That is none of your business.
Okay.
I would very much like to go.
I know.
It seems cool. I mean, if it's like a guaranteed, like something's going to happen.
Like an experience.
I don't know. I feel like you can't. Like if that opportunity arose, absolutely.
I mean, the trek alone would probably get me to not want to go.
Yeah, but like, let's say like some paranormal show was like, we'll pay for you to go and we'll figure out how to do, the transport and all that stuff.
I mean, I would go into any location, any haunted location, if I was getting an all expenses paid trip there.
She's like, I'm just more worried about that I would be passing up a vacation.
Right. Like I would literally sleep in the basement of the most haunted house on the planet.
If it was free.
The Amityville Horror House. Yeah. I'll be in the basement by myself in a sleeping bag. I don't know what to tell you. Literally holding Annabelle.
Yeah, right. Holding Annabelle. She's using Robert the doll as a pillow. Yeah. It's the whole thing. But yeah, so that is the story of the M Triangle, or the Russian anomalous zone, which apparently they have a few anomalous zones there.
In Russia?
Which makes sense. I always forget how giant Russia is.
Yeah, it is.
And then you look at a map and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Russia.
I see you, Russia.
I see you.
Yeah.
Also, we have gotten requests for more triangles, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
That was, people like the triangles.
Triangle up, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love it. That was great. That was really fun.
Thank you.
All right. So it's Alien Day.
Oh, look at that.
You love to see it.
You're doing an alien Christmas story?
I do have an alien Christmas story for you. Christmas enough.
Christmas adjacent.
Christmas is involved, sort of, in some way. Well, Christmas decorations are involved.
Okay.
But yeah, I bet you didn't think I'd find an alien Christmas story.
No, you shocked me again.
And here we are.
She did it again, folks.
And it always comes back to aliens. So
always.
Today, we're going to talk about the Mince Pie Martians.
Okay. I like the name already.
My sources were spookyisles.com by Neil Nixon, the Dudley Herald, which they did an interview with the woman in the story, Jean Hingley, Strange Company blog, paranormalstrange.fandom.com, and unexplainedmysteries.com.
Okay.
So, do you remember the story I told on Patreon a couple months ago, Sam the Sandown Clown?
Yes. I love that. That's one of my favorite stories you ever told.
Wild story. This one is a little reminiscent of that to me.
Okay.
And also kind of going off of what you just said in the end of your story, where like if people didn't believe this tale,
you have like this crazy
stuff,
you have this like crazy experience, and then like people don't believe you, and you're like, no, I promise, I know usually people lie, but like I'm not lying.
Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of this in that too. That and this. Sorry. Am I dyslexic? I don't know.
You caught it from me.
I
First the anxiety disorder, and now this.
Listen, we are around each other too much. It's bound to happen. So speaking of Sam the Sandown Clown, our story just so happens to take place less than 5 hours away from Sandown, where that happened.
Okay.
In a small town in England called Rowley Regis.
That's far in England.
4.5 hours is far.
Yeah, it's not far to us but you can like drive all across England in like one day.
That's true. You're
Yeah.
right. I was going to say 4.5 hours to me is like, woo,
Yeah.
that's so close.
I remember once I saw something where people were like, oh yeah, if you like ask like a British person who's in like a long distance relationship, they're like 35 minutes on a train is like long distance relationship.
Oh.
And then Americans are like a 7-hour flight.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 6-hour flight would probably
if you
be.
live within an hour and a half, that's not long distance.
No, definitely not. If you can go on a train in
Yeah.
less than an hour, that's incredible. That's a normal relationship.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's just you live on opposite sides of LA.
Exactly. But to an alien, that's got to be really fast. 5
Yeah.
hours. You can get there like the speed of light.
Yeah, no problem.
So Jean Hingley and her husband Cyril lived in this town and in their house for 9 years at this point. Jean was a factory worker where she made soundproofing equipment for cars.
Okay.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And Cyril worked at a cement factory. On the very early, cold, frosty, snowy morning.
Ooh, probably smelled so damp out there.
So damp. It was January 4th, 1979, and Cyril was leaving for work. He kissed Jean goodbye, and then Jean and their German shepherd, Hobo, stood at the back door of their house to see him off and wave at him as he drove out of the carport.
Beautiful. What a lovely family.
Lovely little family. Just as Jean and Hobo were turning around to go back inside, she noticed out of the corner of her eye an orange light. So she's like, oh, geez, Cyril left the carport light on.
Okay, yeah.
So she walks out of her house, down through the garden and to the carport. And when she gets there, she realizes there's no light on and the light switch is in fact turned off.
Okay.
Just then, a huge orange glow lights up right over the garden and then turns into a bright white light color.
Okay.
Jean and Hobo run back to the back door of the house.
Like, fuck this. I'm out of here.
Hobo was with her the whole way, by the way. He's on her
Good
side.
boy.
Good boy. And then she hears a sound that she described as sounding like Z, 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 Z.
Okay.
And as the sound is happening, she becomes frozen as she sees 3 strange-looking beings floating towards them from this light in the garden.
Oh, God. Okay.
They float past her and Hobo, and they go in through the back door and into the house.
And she's stuck?
She's just like frozen, like staring at them, like mouth agape.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck? And they just let themselves inside. They didn't ask
Rude.
permission. I know.
It's making me think of The Gentleman, that Buffy episode where they like those scary guys like float and they just like float in your back door.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hush. That's the episode. called.
Wow, that just unlocked a memory for me of that episode. Really creepy.
Really good episode. Yeah.
This is less creepy, I would say.
Yes,
than that.
definitely. These are like silly little guys.
These
Those
are
guys
definitely silly little
Those guys
guys.
are scary big guys.
Yeah. Jean was obviously terrified and she's frozen in fear. She can't move. She looks down at Hobo and then she sees Hobo start to like slowly hobble and he kind of looks like he's swaying side to side, like he can't walk or stand up very well.
Yeah.
His hair was also sticking out of his body like a hedgehog.
Oh, like static electricity?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked as though he had been drugged and then he just flops down on the ground, like on his side, and he lays there stiff as a board with his eyes wide open.
Oof. That's also so scary. Like if you saw that happen to your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would shit my fucking pants.
Yeah.
And Jean kind of does. She's like, holy shit, my dog. Like, what
Yeah.
just happened to my dog? And now she's like still kind of paralyzed, standing in her kitchen, and she's looking at these beings that were now in like her living room lounge area. And she starts to attempt to like try to walk towards them. Like, but she's still kind of frozen, so it's
Yeah.
like hard for her. But within seconds, Jean started to feel like all the fear left her body. She felt herself getting lifted up into the air as she began to float into the lounge.
Okay.
So now she's very calm and she's kind of able to like take in more of what exactly is happening inside of her house, and she's able to get a clearer look at these beings.
Okay. Like, once again, like, if this happened to you, how do you just, like, live?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. And like, and I say this every single
Amanda,
time.
you have a booger.
Oh, I do? You scared the fuck out.
Sorry. I just,
The way
what?
you said that made me feel like something was behind
I was
me.
about to be like, Amanda, don't look
Oh
now.
my God, like I'm
But
actually
there's a floating little guy.
there's a floating little guy in your nose.
No, you just had a booger, and
is it?
you got it.
All
Thank you. But I just like, for a second, I was like, it doesn't matter. And then I was like, oh, we're on video
Oh my
now.
God.
I'm sure you can't see it, but
My heart is pounding out of my chest. I thought there was someone behind me. Oh my! The way you said that. Why?
sorry. I don't know why. Like,
Amanda?
I
It was just a booger.
I was trying to like be polite because like it's embarrassing to have a booger.
Oh, I'm
but-
not embarrassed to have a booger
But
from
also,
you.
but also, I was like, I don't know why I'm acting like we're on live stream. Like I was trying to be like subtle, like, hey
You're
man,
trying to whisper it.
yeah,
Psst, Amanda.
like
booger.
I don't just cut it out
Booger.
anyway. Yeah, so I don't know why.
The way I thought I was going to turn around to a fucking face behind my head. I can handle a booger. I can't handle a face behind my head.
Like Scooby Doo moment.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
right behind me, isn't he?
Literally. Whew, all right. Gotta get my heart rate down now. Anyway. Whew. Okay, so she said that they were slim little men, about 3 to 4 feet tall. They had wings. So that's how they were like floating around places.
Okay.
They were dressed in silvery green tunics and had transparent fishbowl helmets over their heads that rested on their shoulders.
Oh, these are like real classic cartoon aliens.
Yeah, like it's giving Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. And on top of the helmet, there was like a lamp type thing that had a light attached to it. When the light was on, it was so bright that it like blinded her from fully seeing what was going on.
Okay.
But most of the time it was turned off.
Okay.
She said she couldn't see any eyebrows or ears or even a nose, but their mouths were very thin. But her favorite part were the wings. She loved the wings. They were large and wonderful and glowing with all sorts of rainbow colors that she said were even more beautiful than our earthly colors.
Wow. Okay.
She said it reminded her of Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat,
Okay.
which I don't know if you remember, but Sam, the Sandown Clown, also was very colorful.
Yes.
So
yes.
this could be the same
species or close
Yes,
at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these beings are now in her lounge area, and they all start floating around, like looking at everything in her home and touching things and picking things up and examining them like they're toddlers. They're like so
Got it.
excited.
They're like really curious.
Yeah. They start touching her clocks, her radios, her Christmas cards, and then the three of them surround her artificial Christmas tree and start violently shaking it. She described them as
Why you put tree inside?
Yeah, they're like, what is this? We need to know. Why are there shiny things on it?
And it's fake. Like
Yeah.
that would be so confusing.
They're probably like smelling it. Like, why doesn't it smell like pine?
Yeah, like the
You
idea
stupid
of like
bitch.
us putting like just giant weird fake trees in our
Yeah.
house.
She described them as being like mischievous elves.
Okay.
Now, this whole time, Jean is staring at them doing these things. She's unable to speak. She's unable to like really move as she's watching them just tear apart her house. But at some point, she's finally able to like break free from this paralysis and
Yeah.
she is able to speak. So she says to the beings, 3 of you and 1 of me. What are you going to do? What do you want with me? So they hear her speak and they stop messing with the Christmas tree and they look at her. They,
That's what she interrupts them with
yeah,
that.
she's like, whoa, 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 hello, what's going on?
They're like, oh shit, I forgot you were here. Oh
yeah,
my
they're
god.
like, oh, bitch, you scared me.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about you. I was really into this fake tree.
So each of them put their hand onto their chest, and on their like tunic outfits, they had like a bunch of weird looking buttons. So they started pressing all the buttons, and then she heard a beeping sound come out of them. And without moving their mouths, all 3 of them said in unison, "We shall not harm you."
Okay.
So kind of typical alien behavior.
They were like translating or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She then asked, "Where have you come from?" And they said, from the sky.
Durr.
You dumb, stupid idiot.
Didn't you see me beam down earlier?
Hello, where do you think we came from?
Yeah.
They then turned away from her and they all started shaking the tree again. And this time, this little fairy that she had on top of her tree fell down to the ground.
Okay.
Jean says, "We put up a Christmas tree because we believe Jesus was born then." So she's like trying to explain to them things about Earth, like they don't know anything.
Yeah.
And they turn to her and they go, "Yeah, we know everything about Jesus.
Yeah, we just wanted to shake this tree. Just to
We're
see what
literally just having fun."
we're literally just we're palling around.
Like,
Can you back off, lady?
we're literally from the sky.
Yeah.
Why would we not know about
Yeah.
Jesus? Jesus Christ?
Duh.
You, like, come on.
You guys won't shut up about it.
We hear it all the time. Jean then continues to kind of tell them about things that she thinks that they don't know about, but they're literally extraterrestrial beings, maybe, or something. Like, they probably know more than you.
Yeah.
But she ends up pointing to this article that's on the front page of the Sunday paper that was like on her floor in front of them. And on the front page, there's a list honoring people in England that were given titles. So she says, "These people have just been made lords." And they look at her and they say, "There's only one Lord."
And it's the Lord Jesus
Didn't
Christ.
you just hear us say we know all about Jesus?
I love the idea of evangelical aliens.
Yeah, like where did these Christian aliens come from? The beings, obviously at this point, they have enough of Jean's shit because they're like, we know everything. Like, stop talking to us about Jesus. Stop talking to us about lords. Like, we're already aware. We've been there, done that. So they proceed to now get on top of Jean's couch and bounce up and down like little children. So Jean goes, "Hey, be careful on my furniture. What are you doing?" And when she yells at them to get off her couch, they stop bouncing and they turn on that little light that's on the top of their heads. So it like blinds her for a few seconds.
Yeah, they're like, who's you gonna tell?
Yeah. So she realizes, oh, when I'm like harsh with them or not like super friendly, they feel threatened. And that's when they put their little blinding light on.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you.
So I don't want to do that anymore because that hurts my eyes. Yeah. So she says to them, "I can't call you creature, so I shall call you gentleman. Nice to see you." Okay. And they reply back, "Nice."
Nice. What are these weird little freaks? It's hilarious.
The beings then continued to float and flutter all around Jean's house. They picked up all sorts of things, examining them. They seemed to be super interested in her cigarette packs.
Okay.
And then they start picking up several bottles of whiskey. And Jean goes, "Oh, do you want a drink?
Yeah,
I can make
those guys drunk.
I can make you a drink." And they go, "Just water." And apparently they said that 3 times in a row, like, "Water, water." And she's like, "Okay, I get it.
Did she get them water?
You're sober."
Yeah. It's fine. We don't care.
It's fine.
We support you.
So she goes to the kitchen and she brings each of them a glass of water on a metal tray. And she like holds it out to them. They each pick up a glass. They put their glass up to the helmets. And just as she sees the masks start to lift up, the light, ding, turns up on their head.
They get a little privacy light.
Mm-hmm. So she's blinded by the light. And then the second the light turns off, the glasses are back on the metal tray and the water's all empty.
Okay.
So she has no idea
How that happened. Yeah.
what they look like.
Did she say what their eyes look like?
She said she couldn't see eyes, nose, ears, or eyebrows or anything like that. She just saw mouths.
Just the mouth? Okay, and that was because they didn't have them?
I'm sorry. I lied. She did see eyes. They were big, bug-eyed black eyes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, if you said like fishbowl, like why would they care if you could see under it? Wouldn't you look the same?
Yeah. No, she actually described in the interview as them being like big black diamond-shaped eyes.
Okay.
And then just a little slit for mouth.
Got it. Okay.
So Jean and the beings, then they sit down on the couch and they start having a conversation about Earth and how, they come down all the time and they try to talk to people like every time they come down, but no one ever seems interested in them.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, well, I'm interested. Like, can I tell people about you?" And they're like, "Yeah, bitch. Like, that's why we're here."
That's why we're here. We're spreading the word of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
They're like, we're spreading the Book of Mormon.
Imagine.
We're here. I'm elder.
Yeah. Imagine they're like some really specific kind of obscure version of Christianity. They're not even just like the classics.
Well, actually, something weird in this conversation does happen that like confused Jean. So they're talking about like the Bible and they're talking about heaven. And at one point, Jean's like, oh, like she was a Christian woman, but she says to them like, oh, I haven't actually been to church in a while. Kind of being like, I'm scared like maybe Jesus doesn't approve of that.
Yeah.
And they say to her like, oh, it's okay that you haven't been to the synagogue.
Okay.
And she, in her mind, she's thinking like, oh, they actually don't know anything about Jesus. They're just picking up things that they've heard.
Yeah, because
throughout.
synagogue is for Judaism,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
they don't believe in Jesus
Correct.
Christ. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like that was like a very specific statement that she remembered them saying.
Yeah.
And she was like,
because
that's really
it was
weird.
like, so wrong.
Because then they tell her, don't worry, everybody will go to heaven and there's beautiful colors there.
Oh, so they're claiming they've been to heaven.
So it feels like they're trying to tell her what she wants to hear by being like, you like Jesus, you know what I mean? But then they accidentally slipped up and said the synagogue.
Yeah, it's like when you're talking to a little kid and they like ask you a tough question and you have to be like, babies are born because mommy and daddy love each other very much.
And
then
they hugged each other.
And then the stork showed up. Like, it's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So after this conversation, Jean decides she's going to go get some food for her new friends because they obviously must be starving after traveling through the galaxy. So she actually had a bunch of mince pies in her kitchen from the holidays because she baked a bunch when she had people over. And a mince pie is typically an English food that is served traditionally during the Christmas season. Correct me if I'm wrong, all my English listeners out there, but mincemeat isn't even really meat. Like a mincemeat pie isn't really meat.
Okay, so I don't know because they call ground beef mince there. They also do like mince meat pies, and it's like chopped up walnuts and shit.
Yeah. So what I read was that a mincemeat pie is technically just a mixture of fruit and spices.
Yeah.
But then you can add meat if you want.
Okay.
But technically it doesn't have to be meat, but it's just called a mincemeat pie.
Yeah, but I do know that, I mean, at least like in Wales, they call like ground beef mince.
Minced meat?
They just call it mince.
Okay. Well, either way, she had mincemeat pie. I don't know what to tell you. So she puts 6 pies on a plate and she brings it out to them and she's like, help yourself. They each put out their hand over top of the pies and then the pies go up like into their hands like it was magnetic.
That's not the first time we've heard that. Mm-hmm. That's how they ate it?
No, not how they ate it, how they grabbed it.
Okay.
So they just put their hand over and then it just like zooped up into their hand.
Because we've told, or probably you, told a story once where they ate or did something with through their palm of their hand
Yeah, I do
instead
remember
of their
that.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were still holding the pies.
Got it. Okay.
So Jean then notices that they're once again staring at her pack of cigarettes. So she's like, oh, do you want to see how people smoke these? Like, I'll show you.
Get them addicted to nicotine.
So she strikes up a match and she lights the cigarette. And immediately the beings freak the fuck out.
Oh, they hate it?
They hate it. They jump backwards and they quickly start floating out through the back door.
They're like, we've just never seen anybody look this cool before.
Like, you are too fucking cool.
They'd never heard of James Dean.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
So Jean puts out the cigarette and she starts chasing after them. She's like, come back. Wait, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do that. Because at this point, they made her feel so good. So yeah, so she felt like warm and like really good this whole time.
Yeah. It's like those people who, it's a joke, at least I would hope it's a joke, where they're like, yeah, whenever I'm with my girlfriend or my boyfriend, I put a nicotine patch on them and then they don't know that it's there. And then when I'm not around them, I don't do it. So whenever they're not around me, they're having withdrawals.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a joke. You should not do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Extremely manipulative.
Don't do that.
It was a funny joke for a while.
It is a funny joke.
Yeah.
So when she gets to the back door, she sees an orange-colored glowing thing, as she calls it, in her back garden, which she assumes is the spaceship. She said it was about 8 to 10 feet long and 4 feet high with round windows and was covered by a shiny plastic material.
Okay.
It had what she described as a scorpion tail on the back and a big wheel on top. So this is kind of another thing where I'm like, all these like specifics also make me inclined to believe somebody, because I don't know how people could just like randomly add these
Well, to me, I'm like,
strange details.
Why, if you were gonna lie, why would you make it like that? Because it just makes you seem crazier.
Yeah, no,
like
true.
every little detail, I'm like, oh, this person's a crazy person.
Right. So she watched as the beings, still holding their mince pies in their hands, floated up into the ship. The lights flashed twice, and they darted off into the dark morning sky. The second the ship disappears into the sky, Hobo,
Oh, the dog! I forgot about the dog.
who had been laying stiff on the ground throughout this entire thing, he springs back to life. Like, he wasn't dead, but he just,
Yeah, they tranked him.
He jumps up and he runs into the backyard and he starts sniffing around looking for the beings.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, he's like, I saw everything. I saw it all. And of course, when the ship had gone up, it left a circular indent in the ground, like a crop circle.
Surprising no one.
Hello. So at this point, Jean has no idea what time it is or how long it had been, because all the clocks and radios in her house had stopped working.
Interesting.
Her other electronics also had been ruined and were malfunctioning, including her television set and the cassette tapes that the beings had been touching. She ends up going back outside and she starts talking to her neighbor, and she's like, these 3 little men with wings were just in my house.
Yeah, once again, like, not a great start. Like, if if one of your neighbors came up and said that to you, you'd be like, do you need to go inside? What have you been?
Yeah.
You've been day drinking? What's happening here?
And that's literally what the neighbor is kind of like. He's like, yeah.
Do you need a glass of water, maybe?
Well, he tells her, maybe you should call the police. Like, if there was 3 little men in your house, like, what do you, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
like maybe you would assume it was like people in costumes
Yeah.
or something, or masks.
So she ends up calling the police because she's like, okay, yeah, I guess that sounds like a good idea. And while she's waiting for them to come, she calls her husband at work. And she just immediately says, I had visitors with wings. And Cyril's like, what do you mean? Birds?
I would for real be like concerned.
Yeah.
Like if my boyfriend or you or anybody called me and said that, I would be like, oh, like we need to take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, immediately.
Yeah. So he's like, birds? And she's like, no, men with wings. And Cyril just kind of laughs it off and he's like, okay, why don't you go and have your hair done and you can tell the girls all about it.
Hilarious. What a 1970s husband response.
Like, he clearly thinks like either she was dreaming or she's just, maybe he just thinks she's crazy. I don't know.
Being a kooky little gal.
Yeah. The police end up getting to her house, and right off the bat, they tell her that she looks pale and like she had just seen a ghost. But obviously, there's nothing the police can really even do in this situation because the little men were gone and there was really no fingerprints anywhere, because I don't even think they had any fingers. I have no idea.
Just a distressed Christmas tree.
Yeah. But the police, for some reason, they end up contacting a UFO investigation service in Birmingham. And the UFO people come and they measure the crop circle in the garden. It was 8 feet by 4 feet, which was kind of also how she described the UFO. And they also ended up taking soil samples from the ground, but she had never gotten the results back from that, and they just never contacted her again about it.
Wonder why.
So that's a little suspicious. For the next few weeks, Jean dealt with her eyes being really sore, and she was getting a lot of headaches because
that bright light,
that fucking blinding ass light that kept on turning on and off. Her jaw was also in a lot of pain from her mouth being like open in shock for quite some time when she first saw the being.
Oh, because she was frozen.
Yeah, remember she was like mouth open, agape, like, oh my God. She says that she was very aware of what people had to say about her and how, you know, people made fun of her and thought she was crazy.
Yeah.
But she said, you know, the people that know me, they believe me. They know I'm an honest woman. I wouldn't lie about something like this. And for the people that don't believe me, like, I don't care.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm like, that's so crazy, because why would you make up a lie like that to just make yourself seem insane?
Yeah.
Like, you know what people are going to say.
You know what people are going to say. It could even, like, it could ruin your marriage. It could, it could ruin everything for you. Like, your whole life.
Yeah, totally.
And she was just like, this is what happened. I don't just tell you guys. Like, believe me or don't believe me. She even said, I know I shall never forget them if I live to be 100. Because
Aw.
obviously this was like very imprinted on her life.
Well, it sounds like she liked them.
I mean, they made her feel good.
Yeah,
She even
so-
said like they made her feel like she was already in heaven. Like she felt that good.
Yeah.
So Jean doesn't know.
Girl, let me introduce you to some drugs.
We have a few that we could introduce you
Uh-huh.
to. So Jean doesn't know exactly what those beings were that came into her house that day. They could be some sort of fairy creature. They could possibly have even been elves themselves. Or they could have been an alien robot since they had buttons and they spoke in a robotic voice, which also reminds me of Sam the Sandown Clown.
Yes, he had his little
He had
karaoke
he had a
machine.
karaoke machine. Literally, he spoke in a robotic voice. He was kind of like a robot. He had buttons, and he was colorful. So I don't know. I think that they maybe could be from the same planet.
Well, to me, I'm like, what if it's
and they're
just
4 hours away from each other.
that's just wearable technology to translate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. So that is Jean Hingley's story of her Mince Pie Martians.
You know what, Jean? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
I
bitch.
believe you. Let's fucking go. Why
Let's
not?
why not?
I love it.
Literally, why not?
I wish you had some artistic skills so you could have drawn these little guys.
There's a drawing.
There is
I don't know if it's hers, but it's someone drew it from like
her description.
her description. It's a rough sketch, but it's by her. Oh, it is,
Oh,
by,
it is
her.
by her. They look like little elves.
They look like little elf fairies.
Yeah, they
And
do.
even the little hat that she put,
Yeah, the
kind
hat.
of looks like an elf hat.
It does.
But then it has like big wings.
And it's wearing like a that looks like a Christmas elf outfit.
Yeah.
Look at its little feet too.
I know. And it doesn't have fingers. That's why I was thinking like,
Why you couldn't pick it up? It had
Yeah.
to just like whoop.
yeah.
Yeah. This will be on the YouTube and on the Instagram, obviously.
So yeah, that's the Christmas alien story for you.
Interesting. I love it. I think God sent down those little confused Jewish aliens. And I'm so happy about it.
Yeah.
And I hope they enjoyed their pies.
They took them all with them, so
Good for them.
they
and
needed
good for
a
you.
little treat for the road.
Yeah, just a little snack.
Yeah.
If only you hadn't have had to toke up that cigarette, light up that
Yeah,
ciggy.
Jean.
But you know what? It's not your fault that they're lames.
Well, maybe they know about, lung cancer and
Yeah,
what can
but
happen. Listen, they know a lot of things. They've been down to earth before.
You gotta be cool. You know what I mean?
Gotta be cool to be kind in the right measure.
Exactly. Don't you hear her?
They're probably watching us right now.
Probably.
They're being like, we don't want anything to do with those bitches.
We're constantly being watched by aliens,
the government.
absolutely the FBI, probably the CIA. After last week's story, they're absolutely I'm tapped for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Luckily,
always
I never talk on the phone.
are. Good.
Catch
Good
me
thing
while you
I'm
can.
Too scared to ever speak on the phone.
Yeah. Well, how about we round this out with a listener story?
Let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. Okay. Oh, this is a long one. From Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Okay. Oh, it's another dream one. Oh, this is probably all the dream ones we didn't get to.
Oh, probably.
We're getting to like that point in the year. Okay, so I'm finally going to dispel my dream history with you guys since I'm listening to your dream-isode right now. First, I always remember my dreams, but unlike Cass, I am the heaviest sleeper. Growing up, my sister would throw pillows at my face while I slept to try and wake me up, but it never would. Usually, I remember my dream right... Oh, God. Oh, no.
What's happening?
Sorry, there's some zooming issues happening here. Oh, God. Okay. I'm just going to put my glasses on instead. How about that?
Probably a good idea.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. They're just so dirty. It's distracting. I'm like a toddler. Like, why are they so filthy? Okay. Usually I remember my dream right when I wake up, but sometimes when I'm suddenly awoken, I remember them more vividly, or occasionally will start remembering them throughout the day. Like a sudden flashback of a life-altering feeling. These feelings would make me feel like I'm missing something important, like an important memory, and I'll spend the day trying to wrap my head around what I dreamt only to remember some dumbass dream about a frog doing nothing. But for some reason, those dreams hold so much feeling, and it literally really does feel like I left part of myself in the dream or am remembering another lifetime, but that I am yearning to return to. Again, I finally remember the dream and it's nothing special. This happens to me too.
Yeah, same.
Like there's definitely times where I wake up from a dream and I'm like, put me back, put me back.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like, and like not even anything important or interesting is happening. You know what I mean? Like just, I don't know. It's weird. On top of me being an extremely heavy sleeper, I'm also having the issue of seemingly chronic fatigue for the past 2 years. No matter how long I sleep, I am usually always tired and in need of a nap. Usually I'm sleeping 11 plus hours and an additional 2-hour nap. Oh, you're just like me for real. So my doctor wants me to do a sleep study.
Ooh.
But I'm saying this because I will have extremely long dreams that switch between 2 to 5 different dreams throughout the night.
You have that too sometimes.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually have multiple dreams per night. So it's literally as if I'm remembering dreams that actually lasted 5 hours or longer. Maybe my REM sleep is insane, but I've never had a dream feel like it was longer than the amount of time that I had slept. Second, I do lucid dream, but the first time I did was because of a reoccurring dream. I have dreams that have reoccurred maybe 2 to 3 times in my life. So my first reoccurrence dream, I was in the dream and thinking, oh, it's that dream again. And then I realized, oh, I'm dreaming. That, or I'll be in a dream where it's my real life, but something is altered, so I realize it's a dream because in real life, I'm not a 12-year-old boy or something like that. This is like how Cass said she realized her second waking dream was a dream because she didn't actually have a job to walk to.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that happens to me a lot. I lucid dream a lot because I will realize something in the dream is wrong. Like I'll be like cleaning my apartment and my boyfriend will say like, oh, can you go clean in the backyard? And I'll open the door and there'll be like a backyard there. And I'll go, I don't have a backyard. Like something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Third, anxiety dreams. Wow, you really are just like me. These are the worst because I have them all of the time, but they're always so different. The only thing that makes a dream an anxiety dream for me is that some part of the dream I'm desperately trying to figure something out, but I just cannot. Like I need to find a pen or pull up my pants or open a door. It's not the anxiety that I need a pen or that I'm not wearing clothes, but the anxiety that no matter how hard I try, where I look, or how many times I tug on my pants, I just absolutely cannot get the task done. Like I probably spend 9 of my 11 hours sleeping in those dreams trying to do something that I just simply can't do. It's like when your phone overheats and you're pressing the screen and it has a delayed effect on the phone and then everything is just out of control. Like in my dream, I shut the door just for it to be a psych out where the door is open, like a dream glitch. I don't really know. On that same anxiety thread, I also have weird moments where I become semi-lucid. Just like in Amanda's cheating dreams, I'll have those, but the opposite. I'll be having a fun, romantic, and spicy dream with some random faceless guy. And then when it's over, I'll remember that in real life, I'm engaged to my fiance and I freak the F out because I just cheated on him. And I'll go through all of the thoughts of how am I going to tell him? Should I tell him? Why did I do that? Can he blame me if I tell him that I forgot I was in a relationship, et cetera, et cetera? Then I wake up and I feel the ease of, oh, thank God I didn't actually cheat. Or I'll have a dream that I get a tattoo and then remember that in real life, I would never get a tattoo, much less an Elmo mural on my back. And then I'll freak out just the same way.
Okay, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, right? Big divorced guy energy. Lastly, as I said, I usually remember my dreams. I also remember them for pretty much ever. I remember dreams from when I was in preschool and elementary school, and still sometimes I'll get random dream flashbacks that feel like the dream deja vu. I also recently went to Tokyo Disneyland with my fiance.
Fun.
Jealous. And I went to see one of his favorite shows, Country Bear Jamboree.
I loved the Country Bear Jamboree.
I loved it too, but that I had never seen before. But from the lobby of the show, I realized that the moment of me seeing that show with him was something I had a dream of when I was in elementary school. Like it wasn't the exact same, but I could predict things about the show and what was going to happen. And it finally made sense why I had a random Asian guy sitting next to me staring at me in my dream. Like when I dreamed that dream in elementary school, it was such a weird dream talking about the animal show and a quiet Asian kid sitting next to me who already knew the show and was just staring at me. But once I lived it, I remembered the dream and it made so much more sense.
It's like a premonition.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I definitely have dreams like that. That's actually something that happens to me a lot in dreams, especially anxiety dreams, where the dream starts and I've already done the bad thing.
Yes.
And I don't remember doing it. And everyone's like, like the cheating one. Like I had a dream last week where I was like out to dinner and I'm sitting there talking to a group of friends, and like you were sitting next to me, and then there was like some random guy sitting on the other side of me, and you like leaned over and you were like, what are you going to do when Andrew gets here? And I was like, what are you talking about? And you were like, well, didn't you guys sleep together like last week? And I was like, what? And you were like, you don't remember? And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like that's also another way I realize I'm dreaming a lot, is I'll realize I can't remember like something that is significant that I would remember. But there's always like that panic of like, what are you talking about? But it's usually, I don't even get to experience doing the bad thing. I just get the guilt. What's that about?
You get the aftermath.
Yeah, what the heck? That's not even fair. But thank you for sharing that with us. And if you guys would like to share a listener story, a dream story, whatever to your heart's desire, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. And you can also find our YouTube, our social media, and our Patreon, our Buy Us a Beer, all on there. And we just hope you guys are having the most wonderful and relaxing holiday season, no matter what you do, whether you just like to sit at home and watch scary movies or you like to be around your whole family. I hope whatever it is stress-free and easygoing.
Yes, I concur.
Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.